I hope everyone had a nice ad before this stream came up. Get you a good taste of what's to come. What's up, gamers? This is weird not having a guest on stream. Not yet, at least. We'll have you guys up here shortly, but how's everyone doing? Let me know if the music's too loud in the background. I like my music. Keeps me happy. Oh, guys, we have some stuff to talk about. Ads. What's up, gamers? Dark Angel, welcome. Who else is here? V. Ricken, Chris 9989, Nick Ranzeru. What's up, guys? Victory. What's going on, Victoria? You still here? How are you? Sir Paper, Brit F. I see some common names. Jason S. Welcome. Welcome to whatever we're gonna call this, a community debates. Hope everyone likes the background here. We're going old school computer pop-up ads. I thought it was only fitting for this stream. Jesus Christ. Oh, Wirewiz, Last Steak, Melvin. What's good? What is good, guys? You like the background, Marcellus? Oh, man, the good old days for all my 90s kids. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The endless pop-up ads. There is no way of getting out of those. Yo, 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 Vexner. All right, guys. Well, let's lay the groundwork for this stream, and I'll have to probably reiterate myself a few times, but we're just gonna do it live. This is the first community debate. We're gonna call it. My Discord. It's right up there. If you would like to participate in today's activities and be on this stream, send me a friend request there, and we'll get you up here. But what I want to do is we're gonna start with a few little thoughts of me on ads. You know, I could make a 10 minute and 1 second long video if you guys wanted to, but that's a waste of time because I'm just gonna go in circles. It's a nuanced topic. There's absolutely no way anyone who's making a video on this topic will ever hit every topic, make everyone happy. It's impossible. But I'll still give you my thoughts briefly, and then I'll bring people up here if you'd like to join. I'll bring in someone who's pro or anti-ads first, and then we'll bring on someone else while they're still there who is the opposite point of view, and we can have little tiny mini debates. If you guys know of anyone else doing good discourse like this on YouTube, then let me know. Otherwise, let's treat this actually like it's unique. Come here ready to discuss. Come here ready to have open ideas, good discussion. If you just come here to troll or be negative without having any points to discuss, then I'll just take you down. I'm judge, jury, and executioner. Get used to it. I'm pretty good at the executioner part, so there is that. What's up, Anthony? Thank you for the comment on the background. I do dig it. I do dig it, man. Remember AOL? I don't know. Maybe I'm just dating myself there. I think like Baseball Junkie 69. I swear to God, I think that was my username. And the fact that my mom approved the 69 is either a terrible idea or she was woke before woke was a thing. You know what I mean? I guess I'm just talking to myself there. All right, guys. Let's talk ads in VR. All right. Who thinks I am for or against ads? I'm kind of curious. Do you guys think Eric is for or against the ads in VR? The answer might surprise you. Awesome VR peeper, Steam Drumheller, welcome. Brit F, I might have already said hi to you. I don't know. The hair girl last name just keeps getting me, man. It's good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. I hope everyone is staying as positive as I can. There's too much negativity with this ad shit, but yeah, send me the friend request, guys. That way I can get you up here. I got a few already. I'm gonna hold on to them. Be prepared. If I message you back, I'm gonna ask you if you're pro or anti-ads in VR. Answer me quick so I can bring you up here. If you don't hit me back quick, it's on to the next. You know, you snooze, you lose. Nothing I can do about it. Against Jason S. You think I'm against ads? Chris 9989. I'm against ads. Steve against ads. Man, y'all think I'm real anti-Facebook, don't you? It's all against. Anyone think I'm for him? Ah, Brit. Brit, daring to take the road less traveled. Oh man, Having ads in VR is going to break my immersion, and I know Eric for president hates ads too. Melvin. He knows me. Alright, guys. True time. Get your fingers ready on that like or dislike button. I don't give a fuck. Poop. I don't give a poop. I actually want this monetized for a change. Alright. Ads in VR, guys. It's nuanced. And if you don't say it's nuanced, then I don't know. Have a drink. Take a hit. It opens your mind. Don't do drugs. I was joking. Alright. If we're talking ads that are just strictly like you're in game, there's a billboard. Like I was playing oh man, what the hell was it? I don't know. There's some side quest game where you're in a subway trying to escape some monsters. It was fun. I passed some ads in the subway. If it's like that where they're just a random ad placement, just a random ad, they know nothing about you, there is nothing targeted, it is just an ad placed in the game that works with the world, it's part of the ambiance like the subway ads were. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna notice. I've grown up with ads. They are pervasive in everything I do. I don't even understand their ads half the time when they're there. That's probably the area that I'm okay with. Where I'm not okay with ads and where I have a huge contention point with what's going on is targeted ads. Targeted ads. And there is a case I'm okay with targeted ads, by the way. In the scenario that targeted ads are also backed by a giant privacy and ethical framework that is very widely available and researched by Facebook, and they provide a clear route for ethics and privacy guidelines that I can tell they're putting an effort to do this the right way, which, whether you believe they will or not, moot point, just giving you an opinion. If they have a very good ethics and privacy framework that protects the consumer in the best way they can for where VR is going, with all the data it can collect, biometric data, eye tracking, which many people don't even understand the severity of which eye tracking can do, both good and bad. It can diagnose disease. It can determine your sexual preferences. Eye tracking can tell everything about you. And that can be good or bad. But if there's an ethics and privacy framework for that, there's a place for it. However, I am heavily against targeted ads the way Facebook will likely do them without a privacy and ethics framework. If there is none of that, targeted ads should be illegal, and there's literally nothing but negative aspects that can come from that. The data that they can take with no regulations on targeted ads, you will not even know you're being directed to those ads. That's just a fact. But if the game is free to play, they're not targeted. I don't know, guys. What do you think? I mean, I'm going to pull some of you up here really soon. I got about a few friend requests that shot in with people wanting to come up. But in the chat, what do you guys think so far? Ooh, I know who I want to get up here. Here, I'm going to message real quick. Hold on. Check your DM, Suki. Oh, I like it. We're going to start with someone who's pro ads. I really like it. I'm going to bring you on in a second, Suki. So just stay close by. I'll send you an audio voice call in a second. Steve Drumheller. I don't mind the type of billboard ads. I just don't want to be forced to watch a 15-second commercial where the only option is to close my eyes. Fair. Anthony Hairgrow. Ads aren't the problem. Data mining is. Again, agreed. I don't think anyone... Well, I don't say that. There are a lot of people who have problems just with the concept of ads. But ads themselves are what's in your face. They're really not the issue. They're not what you have an issue with. The ad itself is just a visual representation on screen. What you have a problem with is if they're targeted and how they're using your data to target. But if there's a big ethics and privacy framework that's agreed upon and seems legit, well, that's gonna help a lot. Bland plays. I actually moved your opinion? Really? Just with that? Just with that? And yeah, Britt, I do think they're going for targeted ads, which is what scares me. But if they come out with targeted ads and a giant privacy framework, ethical framework, well, we can talk. There's nuance here. But without that framework, I do get nervous. I am going to bring someone on very shortly, like right now, basically, Zuki, who is pro Facebook ads. Again, guys, I don't care. I'll say it a billion freaking times. It's a nuanced topic, so please be respectful. If you come on the debate against Zuki, please be respectful. This is what's good for YouTube. Open dialogue. You guys have the platform now to do it in front of everyone. So use your power for good, not evil. Do that later, because evil can be fun. I'm sending you a voice chat. Let's do it. What's good?
Hi, how's it going?
Good. Can everybody let me know chat? I know there's a little bit of a delay, but let me undo desktop audio. Give me 1 second, Zuki. We'll get you on here. Say
Yep.
something for me.
Hi, how's it going? I'm Suki.
Can everyone hear Suki so we know that this is working before we bring more people on? Okra, I would actually like ads on billboards, etc., but if they are random places that wouldn't be the case, IRL would kind of suck. Yeah, I think that's fair. Sound is good. All right, so Zuki, there's no time limit here. But I really appreciate what you do on Twitter, by the way. I follow you, and I think you bring a lot of nuance and good discussion. So,
Thanks.
so the floor is yours. You are pro Facebook ads. Can you elaborate?
I think generally the current situation regarding VR, I think ads are both a positive and negative force. I think where we are with VR's been essentially a money pit as far as both hardware and developers go. It's almost impossible for hardware OEMs to make money back like on their headsets, and for devs they're operating on very, very thin margins. I think ads for Ryan Engel pro put on Twitter the other day, he said like he was considering adding ads to his game but decided not to because of the community backlash. And he made a really excellent point that with where VR is right now, ads could mean the life or death of a project at the moment we're at. And in the future that could change, but I think with not like I guess non-invasive ads like billboards and stuff like that, that could be very beneficial. A lot of people like to think of the whole Ready Player One like ads in your face UI mess, but if you're just walking around in like VR chat, like virtual market, and you see these billboards everywhere, that's no different. Targeted ads are definitely a concern, but I think once we get the terms and agreements down, like once it's actually a platform tool, I think that will be less of a concern because we'll see what we're actually getting into. Because just billboards aren't going to kill anyone. I've said that. I said that when Boz first hinted at ads 2 weeks ago, and I'm saying that now with us seeing this limited test.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I know you. Obviously, I know you play a lot of VR. You dabble in a little bit of everything. What do you think Ryan Engel would have done? Like, let's say that he just, instead of bending the knee, it's a bad term, but he looked at the audience and made a business decision on what he thought was best. Let's say he had made the decision to go with ads. How do you think it's speculation. You're speaking for him, and if you don't want to, you don't have to. But knowing how he's spoken about it, how do you think someone like him would have enacted ads in VR?
Well, I'm obviously, like I said, I'm not going to speak for him because I don't have like a personal relationship with him. But I think that in the way that ProPut is designed and the way that a lot of his takes around VR, his idea is that VR is like the next big thing, the next big platform, right? And that doesn't necessarily align with my ideas, but I think that just having billboards to start is a huge step. Like I think that's what he would do because it's not invasive. It's similar to life. It's similar to how we've experienced ads pretty much throughout the internet now, outside of some like malicious sites, because malicious ads are a thing. But I think that controlled ads aren't a bad thing, and I think that's how he would handle it because that's beneficial to the platform, that's beneficial to the game, that's beneficial to the players.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And anyone who's been following, like, if you're not following Ryan Engel, Ryan Ryan Engel Engle on Twitter, if you're on there, I think he's a really good source. He is a developer of ProPut VR. He is someone I've had on debates. I've talked to him solo on a fireside chat. He's not nefarious. Like, the ads are not a cash grab for him. I don't even know what he would make off them. He really is. I believe Ryan. Like, I can't vouch for everyone, but I believe Ryan when he does believe VR is the future. He does want his game to be part of it, and he does want to bring ads in a tasteful way. Like, there are developers who are not leading people astray here. I really do believe in Ryan. And just as a reminder, guys, if you do want to be on the stream, please send me a friend request on Discord. I'll get you up here. Right now, I would like to find someone who's willing to come on here respectfully and be anti ads. That way, you and Zuki could talk a little bit. But it seems everyone who's DM'd me so far is very much pro. Oh, never mind. Found someone. All right, we're gonna join. We're gonna bring Dylan into here if I can. Add friends to DM. Alright, Dylan, you are about to be live. Dylan, are you there? Dylan, I know you're trying to talk, but we can't hear you. I'll let you mess around with that. We're gonna bring someone else in the meantime. Who are you? As I was saying, that's a good name. All right. Call's going out, man. All right, what's going on, chat? We'll get you guys in here too. Billboards are okay from Brett F, but not like in RPG games, Beat Saber, or other games that ads don't like. Welcome, as I was saying. How are you doing?
Hey, how's it going, man? Just give me 1 second. My mic's echoing.
I know, take your time. I appreciate you guys in the chat. I'm seeing a lot of comments about not being targeted. It seems like we're all okay with it for the most part. Vexner, when you get out of the Twitterverse, it's mostly reasonable people. I get it. I get a little butthurt when the Twitter hate sometimes. Like, Twitter timeline is what you make of it, guys. All social media kind of is. Like, if your Twitter is full of hate and negativity, you're following the wrong people. Like, it's kind of on you. But I find that most of the developers in Twitter, like, they're just trying to figure it out as they go. There's no right answers. And, like when Larcenauts launched today, let's talk about that real quick while he's getting set up. Everyone has a thought on how it should have gone, right? But we're all just figuring it out. No one knows. They could have done everything right. Like, let's just say all their stuff they did was right, and it still could have failed. Like, no one knows. So, same thing with ads. There's real concerns, targeted ads, especially in Facebook, but no one knows how this is going to play out. And if you say you do, As I was saying, right. I hear you. You sound good now.
Yeah, I'm good now, man. How's it going?
It's going good, man. What's your thoughts on ads? I know you're anti.
I'm anti. I mean, and only because of that episode of Black Mirror, man. If it ends up like that, I have a problem with that. You know, like if I don't know if you've seen that episode.
I have not. And for the people who haven't, can you give like a TLDR of the episode?
All right, so it's basically a bunch of people in this, like, it doesn't even explain where they are. They're in like this random facility, and they all pedal these bicycles, like exercise bicycles, and they gain these credits, like coins per pedal. And who's to say like what the bikes are doing? I don't know. They're harvesting cryptocurrency or something wacky. And so these people get these coins, and they're able to do things. But the VR it's in their eyes. It's not a headset or anything. So like they can't really control it or turn it off. It's in their room. It's everywhere. And then so if they don't have enough money to avoid the ads, they're forced to just watch all these ads cover everything that they see in their life.
Okay, that makes sense. So what's your major concern? Like, if ads come to VR, what's your worst case scenario? And I do want to remind everyone too that worst case scenario is speculative, but if it happens, what's your scenario that pushes you away?
If it becomes like the internet was back in the day when before pop-up blockers, and suddenly you're just getting ads every turn, you know what I mean? There's enough scary stuff that happens in VR. You don't want to turn around and get scared by like a UPS ad or something popping up.
I don't want to Zuki might want to chime in, but one quick question, I'm gonna let you guys talk it out. But do you really honestly think that would be that way? Because it does. I feel like that. I think most people would agree with you. If that happened, they would push you away. But is that in Facebook's interest, to even in Oculus, to do it that egregious? I wouldn't imagine that would happen. No.
I'm just talking worst case scenario.
Sure, that's fair. Zuki, do you want to make any comments between you two?
I'd say at least my comment on I think as a fan of Black Mirror as well, because I like that reference. I think Black Mirror has a lot of interesting episodes around the idea of like where VR and AR could go wrong. I think that's one of the more extreme examples, and that's kind of the point of the show, is that it's extreme. Society, I feel, has a lot of, I guess, checks and balances to ensure things like that would never get that far. I'd like to think so. But when we look at more like where AR could be going, there are concerns like that. Because Black Mirror does have even an episode where like there's AR glasses and people see ads and you can like block people in real life. Right? Like there's things that are really concerning like that. But overall, I generally think that I agree with the worst case scenario idea, because that is a worst case scenario, like the old internet. Like people have pop-ups in their eyes, you can't get rid of them, right? But I think VR is in a more controlled state to where that won't happen. And if it does happen, I think people just wouldn't use VR. Like, to be honest, I think that's counterintuitive to Facebook's interest is holding the next computing platform overall.
Yeah. I could definitely agree on that.
I think like when this stuff happens, guys, like if we're just gonna be real and not fluff this up and try to get an algorithm going, like when this shit happens on Twitter, It's how many characters is Twitter? Like 280? I don't know, some bullshit like that. It's super small amount of characters. They're giving you big news, and then everyone else has to bring their opinion in 280 characters or less. And typically, you're going to be heated when you see these arguments, and we go down the rabbit hole of worst case scenario. There's really no interest. I could imagine Oculus side to go full dumb real quick and ruin everything they've built. At the same time, though, the people who are worried about targeted ads probably have a real concern because not exactly the words that Oculus started with have followed through with, but additionally, there is no privacy or ethical framework built yet, and direct things that they said they will not do, there is nothing in writing they have that will say they won't. You can give them the benefit of the doubt. Some people will, some people won't, but I think everyone just wants to see some type of framework to know that there's checks and balances, which there aren't. I think would that be fair to say, guys?
Definitely.
That's fair.
I appreciate you both coming on. Thank you guys. Zuki, I'm sure I'm going to talk to you soon. I want to get you on a fireside chat one day. But I'm going to close this group chat. Thank you guys.
Hey, take care.
All right, let's get new groups up. We're going to bring another pro on. Is it Skit? Never mind. I just didn't realize how to say your name. Schizo Tony. Come on, buddy. Stay tuned, my man. All right, what's going on in the chat? Vexner 3. Facebook will have ad policy standardization for business. All right, we're gonna go back to Skits Tony. Yo, who brought up Kent Bai? Hold on. Who was that? Hold on. Where'd it go? Kent Bai comment. Vexner, was you again? What's up, brother? Kent Bai would make this stream explode with furry. Guys, another person. I'm just gonna shout people up. Kent Bai. He is definitely. I don't know if he's anti-Facebook ads. I know he wants, just like I do, a good privacy and ethical framework. If that was the case, I don't know if he'd be against it. But Kent Bai is one of those guys that if you follow on Twitter, you're going to get long tweet chains about a lot of great ethical and philosophical VR topics. When you listen to him, you're going to realize how stupid you are. I definitely did. I'm stupid. He's a great source, I think, of rounded thoughts. You'll get a lot of different sources. If Twitter is toxic, then Kent Bai is the antithesis of that. He's absolutely fantastic, and I appreciate everything he does. So, Kent Bai, if you haven't followed him, you should. I'm going to call FG Miles, anti-Facebook ads. Let's get you on here, man. Oh, you guys got to be ready. There we go. What's up, man?
Yo.
I can hear you, brother. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by, and let us know your thoughts and any of your concerns so we can have some good discussion with someone who is pro Facebook or ads.
No, I'm anti.
Yes, yeah. I know you're anti.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. So I'm anti for stuff like let's say I pay however much it is. I think it was whatever much it is, and then I pay $30 for a game, $30 for another game, whatever. If I pay $30 for a game, I don't want ads in that game. I don't want in between levels to be pop-up ads and stuff like that, unless it's like a game like, I guess the closest game to that's on Quest at least is like Walking Dead Saints and Cities. Like if I'm walking through a city and I see a billboard for like Coca-Cola, and it's something that, yeah, it obviously is an ad, but it's like more immersive. Like I don't want to be playing Beat Saber, and I think someone said this earlier, and an ad pops up in my face. But I'm fine with like stuff like if it was like, let's say Cyberpunk was in VR and I saw a ad for something on like a billboard, I think that's fine.
I think you're in the same boat as most. I think it seems to be a kind of a common thing that we're talking. I think it's pretty common, guys. Everyone in the chat, let me know. But I think it seems like it's pretty common that if an ad interrupts gameplay, generally we're all against it, right? I mean, I think that's I think we all can agree on that. If you're playing a game and an ad pops up, that's kind of like a free-to-play mobile game that's stopping you to say, hey, do you need to buy more tokens so you can do another 2 moves? I get it. But if ads do not break up gameplay, guys, what I'm really curious to hear, and if you have some thoughts, I'd like to hear from you too while I have you here, Miles. Let's say ads don't break up gameplay. It's not going to break up gameplay. But let's say they're targeted, so you're getting targeted ads. Do you have any problem with that? But they're done taste. Let's just say, for argument's sake, they're done as part of the game. They're not going to be thrown in your face.
I think obviously I don't think anybody wants Facebook to be listening on you to target ads and stuff. But at the end of the day, I think it's something that I've grown to accept because I have a bunch of Facebook products. Like I have Quest 1, Quest 2, Alexa, whatever. And I kind of accept at this point that there's not a lot of privacy you can get. Obviously, there's people who feel differently, which is fine. But I feel like as long as you're not constantly listening to me, like I think maybe I can put feedback in, or like you know how YouTube does those surveys where like it like says like what Coke brand or whatever, what Coke's your favorite flavor, and then it targets you around that. I think that's fine, but I don't want it just like listening on me constantly, even when I'm not playing it.
Yeah, that's fair. I do want to bring someone up with us here who I know asked me earlier to come on, so I definitely want to bring them up here. How do I spell your name? Wicked. There we go. Wicked Games. Wicked, you from the north, man? Are you Wicked awesome? Let's get you on here, man. But real quick, Wicked, before you start talking, let me just do a little quick look at the chat. Ion S is going to be manipulative. Pop-up won't be an issue. Ion, would you be okay if they created some type of good framework? Or is Facebook just beyond saving for you mentally? I'd be curious. Day Zebra, ads shouldn't interfere with paid gameplay, though totally agree. Wicked, well, I got you on here, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm not bad. A bit late here, but you know, I had to stay up and watch this.
I remember seeing your tweet, so I knew you had like 2 hours by the time I stream before it's too late. So I wanted to get you on here but I got a few questions for you because I think everyone Wicked plays a little bit more centrist, which is not bad. I think he's kind of trying to view both sides here, but give us some thoughts.
I mean, to be honest with you, everyone's talking about Facebook listening in. I mean, they're not the only ones doing it. They've been doing it for years. I don't really care about that part. My main focus is I don't want ads to break immersion. I don't want them to be a cash cow for big companies, ideally, you know. But my biggest concern specifically is Facebook's involvement with selecting the ads. As a Facebook user regularly, I see scam ads all the time. They're terrible at maintaining on their primary IP. I'm worried that it's going to impact the VR as much as it does on the primary site, you know. That combined with immersion breaking advertising, big no-no for me.
Mm-hmm.
Handling it something like product placement in a movie or TV show, and I think that's a win because the devs have the control of how and where the adverts and products are placed. So they'll fit in with the game. So you won't be playing Skyrim VR and have an advert for Toyota suddenly pop up in the middle of your experience somewhere, you know, I mean, good example, Pop One. You know, there's several places where they could put advertising in something like that, and it would fit. The soda cans, the billboards, you know, millions of places. Perfect example of a good place to put adverts in. My concern, like I said, is going to be the immersion and who controls the adverts, because Facebook have no clue what they're doing when it comes. They can target adverts, great, yeah, but they don't actually screen their adverts.
Yes. One question for the chat, and then another question to you, Wick, as I want to follow up with some of the chat's been asking. But Victoria, I know you're in the chat. If you want to come up, let me know. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. I loved having you on the Fireside chat. By the way, Victoria, she's in the chat, guys. It's Victory XR. She's doing a lot of fun stuff, so check her out. But Wicked Games. A lot of people in the chat. There seems to be a big discussion around ads. And by the way, not just Wicked. I don't want to just put this on you, but Miles, you're welcome to chime in as well. Ads in paid games. There's a lot of discussion in the chat on ads okay in free-to-play games, ads not okay in paid games. I'll start with Miles, just because Wicked, you were last. Miles, do you have a preference? Does it matter to you if they're both done similar? Does it matter if it's paid or free?
If I'm paying $60 for a game like a AAA game or whatever, it really doesn't matter. I don't want ads at all, primarily, but I understand that it might be something that's just gonna happen. As long as it's like on a billboard or something, I'm fine with that. But if I'm paying $5 for a game that's like a really good game, like I forgot the name of the day. The Magic game that's having like a big update with the open world or whatever in July.
Waltz of the Wizard? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I paid I think it was $10. I may have got it on sale or whatever. I feel like, I mean, obviously that you can't put ads on a billboard. But like if I'm in a loading screen and there's like a screen in front of me that's showing me like a Coke can or something, that's fine because it's a $10 game. But in a $60 game, unless it's really like, I don't want to say not noticeable, but it really like blends in as the environment. I don't want any ads in a game that I pay a lot for. But free games, I'm fine. They do whatever they want as long as it's not targeted so much, like what I said earlier, or if it's not breaking immersion.
Wicked, what's your thoughts on that?
Very similar to Miles, to be honest with you. If it was a AAA title, I mean, I wouldn't expect to see my adverts in Pop One. I wouldn't see, well, I wouldn't say that was AAA because it's not really AAA prices, but in Skyrim VR, in Half-Life Alyx, those sort of games, I would not expect to see those. And I would lose my nut if I did, to be honest with you. I've just paid a lot of money for a game that I don't expect to see in promotion. But if you're talking about the smaller games, especially indie devs or small teams, or even up and coming devs, where you're talking about £10. Sorry, I'm speaking in English currency, but $15, $20 game. Honestly, if there's a few ads in there that not intrusive on the experience, go for it. The guys have got to make money one way or t'other, and if they're not making it on the title, but they're putting the hours in, they've got to make it somewhere. I still think there's other ways to bring revenue into the devs. Cosmetic microtransactions, I don't mind those at all, because they're a choice. And it's a way to support the devs without any sort of pay-to-win mechanism, etc. But definitely not AAAs. I think anything over the $40 mark, I would start expecting to be ad-free completely and be a little disappointed. But $60 titles, no chance in hell. You throw an ad, I'm uninstalling and returning it.
It's also very dependent on the game. I mean, if I agree with you, if there were ads at Half-Life Alyx, they do not fit in that game. Any ad outside the developed already Half-Life Alyx or Half-Life world would come off very poorly. I thank you both guys, Miles and Wiki Games. Thank you for stopping by.
Been a pleasure.
I'm going to close this chat so we can bring some more people up here. But thank you, guys.
All right, see you, man.
Later. One thing, guys, for everyone in the chat that I was thinking about, if you are a developer, big or small, I don't care. If you develop for VR games, I do have a specific question about ad revenue, or your perception of what it may do compared to other aspects that I would like to have you on. So please let me know in the chat and send a friend request on Discord in case I missed the chat. But I am going to get Victoria up here, and then we're going to get Chunky Panda up after, and we have Dylan Cosmo as well. But Victoria, let's get you going. And real quick, Victoria, before you do anything, let me check the chat here. Alright, let's see. What we got going on, guys, in the chat? Last steak? That's sad. I want more steak. Facebook cannot be trusted. Sell your information knowing that you will see ads somewhere. Do you think there's any room, buddy? Any room that Facebook could be trusted? I just hate such black and white stuff, but you might be right. What's up, Victoria? You can unmute yourself. I trust you.
Okay. Right on.
I missed you. We had so much more to talk about.
Oh, I know. It's cool. Next time I should have a really big update to my WebXR virtual world, so we'll have even more to talk about. And next time I will talk a lot more about the technical specifics of this stuff, and I'll just get geekier. But thank you for having me again.
You're welcome. I was having a lot of fun with you last time. People really enjoyed hearing from you, so thank you for joining us. But what's going on with you in this ad debate? Since if I log on to Twitter now, it's literally everything. Reddit, it's ruined doing anything for VR other than hearing about ads.
Well, the main thing that I really want to talk about is Facebook's actual role, because I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions around what they do and how they actually utilize the data. Okay, so Facebook, what they are is the arbiter and collectors of the data. And they do not sell data. What they do is they sell access to the data by their ad network dashboard, right? So if you want to have a Facebook ad, then you access their dashboard, you pick your geo, you pick your demo, geography, demographics, and then you put your ad out, okay? That's not selling the actual database records, okay? So I just want to put that into perspective. Now, the people that actually sell your data, i.e. those database records, the CSV files, those are third parties. Now, when you go and you want to do some weird meme thing on Facebook, and then you click on the link, and then it tells you blah, 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 gains access to your data. Do you accept?
Yeah, I do. I do.
those are the people that are selling your data.
Damn.
Okay.
Damn.
So I just really, really want to be very clear here while we're having this conversation that Facebook themselves, they do not sell those CSVs. They do not sell those records. They sell access to the records. Third parties, though, they will actually sell those CSV files. And I know this because before becoming an XR dev, I worked for a data company and we would purchase a lot of CSV files from those third-party companies. And FYI, more often than not, most of the records in that CSV file, they're garbage. Most people, they move, they change their phone numbers, they put fake shit in there. So half my job was literally going through other databases, like the National Change of Address databases, among others, and just like what we call cleaning the data and making sure that the data is accurate for us as, you know, the data company to resell or to advertise to.
So what's your specific thoughts right now on ads coming to the Oculus Quest platform? Do you have anything specific? Are you worried? Think it's the right way to go? I'm putting words in your mouth probably. You don't even have to pick either of those.
So I have a love-hate relationship with ads because I'm very susceptible to them.
Sure.
I have been a person that I have, when it's not relevant to me, I tend to ignore them. But there will be a time where I'm looking for something that's extremely specific and they will show that to me. And I'm like, oh my God, that's the thing that I was looking for. Oh, and then I will buy it. So I love that I'm able to have that accessibility to the things that I'm looking for, but I also kind of hate that they know that I'm looking for that.
Yep.
And in terms of VR, see, I guess because I'm so busy like in code that I haven't seen like all of the news and don't know all of the details. So are these ads going to be in game or are they just going to be on the home screen?
So I think it's pretty ambiguous right now exactly what they're doing. I think it's pretty safe to say, especially with like the blast news that I heard, that it's also going to be in game. So it's not just the home screen. I can be pretty confident in giving that as a factual statement that yes, they will be in game as well. But exactly how they are going to be in game, I think is still up in the air. I think it seems, and chat, please absolutely correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm an idiot sometimes, more times than I'm right. I believe it's going to be up to the developers to put the ads in there how they see fit. I don't know if they're going to have any choice of what type of ads show up, but it does seem like, like how Ryan Engel was talking on Twitter, that it seems like he's going to have a lot of ability to determine if he has ads or not and how he's going to do it. That's just how That's how I've taken things, Victoria. I don't know if that's true.
Okay, so let's just assume that what you're saying is accurate. We're just a straight up assumption.
Yep.
This is what I'm saying about third parties having a lot of access and a lot of control over this data, right? What we really see, we need to make sure that Facebook allows less access to third parties because it's the third parties that are gonna be really, really fucking with you. Because Facebook, they're just like wiping their hands off of it. They're like, hey, we're not the ones doing shit. It's this third-party developer that's building on top of our platform that's using this shit, right? And that's where my fear comes into play, where I'm less afraid of Facebook themselves and more afraid of a nefarious third-party developer coming in and taking access of that data and potentially, especially if it's, you know, something that's side-loaded, especially if they overtake the Oculus OS, because there are some side-loaded apps that fucking do that. They're basically hacks on top of Oculus OS, okay? My fear is that those people are going to not just steal our data for advertising, because at the end of the day, that's not the worst thing in the world that could happen. Because you even said earlier that through all of these technologies, you could tell who a person is, you could tell how they're feeling, you could tell whether they're intoxicated.
Oh my God, I wish I could find it. I'm gonna let you keep talking, but like, well, I'm actually gonna bring in a second. I'm gonna bring Chunky Panda on, who I've talked with on Twitter a little bit, or over the years, and I know he's pretty anti ads at all, which might be an interesting conversation. But while he's talking, I might try to find it. But there was somebody who did a research paper on eye tracking that I was following on Twitter, and it was something I was reading through. It was about a 10-page research paper, free, which I appreciated him putting out there because a lot of people put it behind a paywall. And it was extremely interesting. I mean, eye tracking, the pupil dilation, everything, it could diagnose disease. It could determine every biometric data that they really needed to know who you were, your sexual preferences, what you like, what you don't like. I mean, there's a list, and it is concerning, and that's why if it was targeted ads without a privacy and ethical framework, it gets very dicey real quick. Let me bring Chunky Panda on with us here. And guys, if you do want to be on here, have an opinion on the topic, just shoot me a friend request up there in Discord. I'll try to get you on the best I can. But Chunky, I'm sending you a call right now, buddy. If it wants to. Oh no, Victoria, can you still hear me? Hey, Victoria, can you still hear me? Ah, damn, we lost everybody. That's how I messed it up. All right, Chunky, we're gonna get you on by yourself. What's going on, brother?
Hello. Oh, 1 minute.
No, it's all right. Let me get Victoria. Let me get Victoria back in here real quick. Oh no, Victoria, what's your username? I lost it. There you are.
All right.
No. What's up?
Are we-
No, it's just me making an absolute mess of this stream right now. You know how it goes, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get Chunky on this call, but Chunky don't want to come. It's not Chunky's fault. It's my fault. Like Chunky Panda's like, oh, it's the Chunky Panda. That's why it's not working. No, that's actually not why it's not working. Victoria, I got nothing but love for you, but it looks like I'm not gonna be able to do both of you at a time.
Oh.
I know. I'm gonna call Chunky Panda. And I'm gonna try to get you in here. All right.
Okay.
Much love. Oh, that's why I can't get you in here. I got it. We got it. Chunky, we're in, buddy. All right, Chunky, let me get Victoria back in here. Now I know what happened.
You hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I got it. Let's get everyone in here. What's up, chat? Hey, guys, before you go in here, I do want to do a couple things for the stream here. Guys, first of all, Victoria is Extended Reality on YouTube. She does a bunch of stuff for the XR community. I'm going to put her link in the chat right now. So if you guys do want to check out any of her links, what she's doing, she's dabbling in a little bit of everything. She's someone who understands how early we are in VR and how, like I made a tweet about it one time. Follow me on Twitter, guys. You're buying penny stocks. Like if you're in VR right now, anyone in the chat, understand me real clearly. You are in like the penny stock version of VR, like as early as it almost can get. What this will be in a couple decades will be life. I'm just gonna be honest. I personally believe that, and it will be immeasurable how important virtual reality is to our world. So, you guys are all in an early group, just like Victoria is. Check her out; she's doing a lot of good stuff. But the chat, real quick before we get into Chunky Panda, what's up, Flame Solace? I don't feel that is the stronger concern. It was always my concern with Facebook's integration on the OS itself and the fact that siloed apps could gain access to the data if something is found. That's kind of what you were going with, Victoria, right?
Yep, 100%. And that's that's what I think we need to be on Facebook about. Facebook needs to give these third parties way less access than what they're giving them, right? Like Facebook is not I'm not defending Facebook here, right? The only thing I'm doing is I'm explaining how it actually works so that there's no misconceptions. But we need to make sure that Facebook doesn't give these third parties a fucking field day, because that's what they're doing. Because hey, these third parties, they're paying Facebook, they're making money hands over fist. Okay, while Facebook might not be selling those records, those .csv files, they are still getting money for that access. And we need to make sure that Facebook doesn't give these people that access, because third parties, it could literally be anyone, right? Anybody with a little bit of money could be a third-party developer on Facebook.
Chunky, what's up with you, man? Give us your thoughts.
So while I do think she does bring up a valid point, I do have to say I disagree, because well, okay, you're gonna have to hear me out.
No, that's what you're here for, man. Take your time.
I think so. While I don't think that there should be ads at all, I think EA was onto something, right? Right? You hear me? I think that there should be more in-game transactions for paid DLC and other stuff like skins and characters. Now that'll allow for more developers to be more like enticed with continuously supporting and updating the game, because on such games such as like Fortnite and Apex Legends, that the ecosystem has been continuously moving forward because of paid content, as people cannot simply wait or try to earn skins and DLC, so that they will just end up paying for it. I also like DLC that will allow for more levels, so such as like Dark Souls and like with Respawn allowing for new content if you purchase it, and you'll get new levels, as well as I do believe with EA having DLC in order to I forget which games it was. It's more some of the Star Wars games with getting more boost of a content. However, while that's a paid game and then you're paying for more DLC, that's kind of a gray zone. I do like with free-to-play games, while you have the option to simply go and play it for free, such as gacha games and all that, there's a percentage chance that you will not get what you want from loot crates. So therefore, people will end up buying it. But some people, maybe it's addiction. That's also a different type of that's a different argument of its own.
I'd like to get a developer on here soon, but I don't mind asking you guys, and then Dylan, Cosmo, I know you're waiting. I will get you in here next. When it comes to revenue, and either of you, if you have experience in this, I would love to hear from you. If it's speculation, that's okay. And if you don't want to comment, please don't either. We'll get someone on here who is more familiar with it. But I am not sure the revenue share. I know it's not been stated, so we are speculating just from the start. The revenue share of these ads to the developers, would it be more lucrative for them for the share of the ad revenue, or if Oculus just took less than the 30% cut, would that have helped the developers? Do either of you have any thoughts on that?
If I'm to go first, I do believe that. I don't think it's exactly lucrative because Steam does I forget what the percentage share that Steam also does. So
I think it's all 30% ish.
All 30%. Yeah.
It's
around the same. That's what I know. So it's nothing really new. However, I do know that I do think that maybe the cut shouldn't be as large. Because as with Apple, I do believe after they made a certain couple billions of dollars, they were actually going to take on the percentage take on the Apple Store. They were supposed to they agreed, like non-paper, agreeing between executives, that they were going to take and they were going to lower the cut for developers. However, they never ended up doing that. And I think that after a certain amount of profits, I believe that like platforms like Oculus apps and Steam should not take as much of a cut, if I'm completely honest.
Okay. And by the way, I do, Chris9989, I do appreciate the not calling them loot crates, but surprise mechanics. Surprise mechanics.
It just works.
Yeah. Victoria, any thoughts before we, I'm going to be honest, Victoria, I'm going to give you the last word here on this group chat before we invite some more people in.
Sounds good. Thank you. I do agree that I believe that these platforms should be taking less of a cut. But I also do want to say that way back in the day, they used to take a much larger percentage as well. So over time, they've been taking less and less and less and less. And yes, I still agree that they should be taking a little bit less. And I will repeat it once again. Third parties need to have less access to all of this data that's being collected. And that's pretty much the last thing that I want to say. Thank you for the space.
No, thank you.
If I can add one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
So as I am also the person that does control over the Minecraft server, and I help update it and then take community feedback to sometimes update unless it's Coney complaining yet again. I'm sorry, Archer. Archer, my bad. He's gonna.
I feel you, man. I feel you on that.
He's gonna complain in my DMs again about that. It's opened my eyes really to see how much access as a server owner. When people connect to your server, it's not that I'll ever sell the information. There's no monetization on the Eric for President Minecraft server. There never will be. But there is. It is so open when people connect to your server. I have a certain application where it's called GeoIP, and I can see the relative country people come from, not the specific state and where people exactly live. And I do not store the IPs of it. However, it gives the general location, like the US, Mexico, Canada, Britain. It'll give me the specific stuff. However, in GeoIP, I forget the exact, there's a database it gets that information from. It allowed me down to state level and I think it was county level. And I'm like, no.
I am not going that deep. That is insane and stupid.
Yeah, that's pretty specific. Holy shit.
Yep.
Chunky, I might have you on for a different discussion on that one, buddy. But yeah. Good luck with Coney or Archer. Giving you crap.
Oh, you did it! You did it! No,
No, wait, I'm not supposed to do that. I'm not supposed to do that.
He's call him Archie. Call him Archer now. Call him Archer.
Yeah, I'm not
He's
supposed to
gonna
call him
rip-
Cooney because we already went through that conversation. I know that's rude. So, Archer, if you're in the
No.
chat, I know better. I have learned and amended my ways. But thank you both, Victoria. And,
Yep, no problem.
Chunky, thank you both. Victoria, I'll have you back on eventually too, so we can finish our conversation that we didn't get to finish.
Sounds great. Appreciate you, man.
Much love,
See you
both
in
of
chat.
you.
Alrighty, have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, before we bring the next two up, I have neglected you guys. I've neglected the chats. But there's so much good stuff being talked about. Ollie, send me a message, by the way, if you can. Ollie, if you're still in here, please shoot me a friend request because I want to get you in here. I've been wanting to get your opinions. Hair Grow, I will be getting you up soon, so stay tuned, please. There's a couple people I've been wanting to hear from for a while, but what's going on with the chat? Oh, man, Chunky, you destroyed the chat with the DLC conversation. Do we need to get into loot boxes now? Look what you did, Chunky. Chunky Monkey, what did you do? Yeah, DLCs are fucking gambling, but I do like gambling too. All right, let's get someone on here. Dylan, you've been waiting for so long, man. I know. I really appreciate you waiting. Let's get you on here. Hopefully your mic's working this time. Dylan, your mic working?
Yes, it should be.
There we go. Welcome, brother. Thank you for your patience, man. I'm pretty bad at sticking to my word sometimes. So how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. So what's your thoughts? Share what you like on the ad situation.
Okay, so this is just like my general opinion on it is, as long as it's not necessarily in like anything that is over, I would think just like anything that's like you have to watch this 30-minute ad, otherwise you can't get to play your population 1 or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it just kind of like if there's like some sort of just like a wall to like the point where it's like you can't necessarily play the game, then it's just kind of unfair, especially for like if you paid like money for the game. And that's just kind of like my general opinion on it.
So just to make sure I understood, so I'm sorry. It on my side. I think you're fine, but I think I broke up. So
Okay.
Your main problem is similar, if I heard you right, to what a lot of people talked about, where if it breaks up gameplay and
Right.
it destroys immersion, it's a no-go for you, correct?
Yeah. Especially it would just really kind of like annoy me if I just like one day just went into like Pavlov, or one day I went into VR chat or something, or sorry, that's not a good paid example, but some sort of like one of my paid games and just realized that I have to like look at ads before I play or something like that. That would just kind of kill it for me.
Yeah, I think everyone's with you. Like let's be real. Let's be honest. If there's ever a point where I'm playing a game and an ad breaks it up to the point where I can't play and have to walk through the ad, I'm stepping away. Guys, I will delete the channel if I won't do that. Fuck that. It's just no, but I'm
I hope
done.
not.
Like I'll make a video. I'll put it right now. Everyone, clip this. I don't care. If we get to the point where there's ever a moment where Oculus breaks up gameplay with an ad, I will make the most spectacular. It'll be the first video I make in a long time. The most spectacular video of destroying my Oculus Quest. We can stream all the creative ways to destroy it, and we'll have fun doing it. But I will be honest, I don't think that time's coming. I really don't see Oculus or Facebook, whatever you want to call them, going down the route of purposely breaking up gameplay for an ad. I hope I'm right, but
Right. Well, I'm
that's
just thinking like Facebook has lied to us before. They can pretty easily do that again.
yeah.
Because
I-
they really are. I feel like they really are kind of just like the kings of just not keeping promises necessarily about their products.
Wait, who is? Sorry, guys. Someone's blowing up my DMs there. All right, we're gonna get someone in here with us. We're gonna get Flame Solus real quick.
All right.
And Flame, when I get you in here, hold on. I kind of want you to give a little background on who you are, because some people may want to know that. Oh no, you're muted. Flame, if you're talking, you're muted right now. Just letting you know. But let me check the chat while you're figuring that out. What's going on, guys? I'm Victor. Oh, Victoria. Life is a gamble. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? No. P4551V3. No one has jailbroken the Quest. I can't vouch for what really happened, but there was that time, maybe, what was it, guys? Like maybe 8 to 12 months ago, almost 8 to a year. I mean, it's been a while, a year ago, where the jailbreak conversation was happening. That ended up not being legit. So unfortunately, no one has. William. I don't know. William Hewitt says, yeah, someone jailbroke it, but to my knowledge, no one's jailbroke it. What's going on with you, Flame?
Hey, sorry about that. Remember, kids, always accept your microphone permissions when trying to actually use the microphone. So,
can I ask you a quick question before you talk about the ads?
Sure.
I know you represent heavily the Neos VR community, and I want to give them a little shout out. What's your role with Neos?
Actually, believe it or not, I'm not directly involved with the Neos community at all.
Okay.
I was part of like many other communities, and then that slowly transitioned to trying out Neos. But as a representative of them, no, I'm probably not one of the best ones at all.
You're good enough, man. You've really, guys. I've had some comments about Neos, but Flame is someone I want to talk to soon more about it. If you like VR chat, but you want to see maybe what other options are out there, Neos VR is definitely for you. Like, honestly, Neos VR is like peak social VR at times. It's been a long time since I've been in there, and I'm looking forward to getting back in. But if you have fun in VR chat, Neos VR, you should check out as well. It's going to provide something similar, yet different at the same time, and the differences are immeasurable. I don't want to speculate on it. Just go in. It's free. I think it's free. Yeah, it's free. Go in and try it. But anyway, Flame, you got the floor, my man.
Of course. So, I think we'll nail down the two biggest things. Number one is the thing I brought up before, which was the security concerns. Though, in all honesty, that has been a concern of mine from the beginning when the Facebook logins were becoming more of a crucial topic. So I guess we'll go ahead and start with that.
Sure.
Biggest thing that has always been a large concern for me is user permissions and the accessibility of that data. Like, as mentioned before, I think Victoria was talking about that, if I'm getting the names correct.
Mm-hmm.
They discussed, hey, I would like to have access to your wall. I can see your messages or your name or where you're from. There's always like some kind of permission in the system when a third-party program or app or service wants access to that data. The problem about what makes the Oculus a very interesting thing is that now it's a device that in itself is using that as its form of login. I mean, okay, it just uses it to understand how you're coming in, but we don't specifically know what kind of data is, if you will, in memory. We don't know where or what specifically the system knows. It might already know, you hit people on your friends list from Facebook, and it just keeps that in memory. But we don't know if it already knows in cache or otherwise, names of individuals and whatnot. And it had always been a concern of mine that as we progress further, and now that we're getting into advertisements, this only makes things a little more interesting, is how accessible is that data? If you went off the beaten road, as we've seen many times with side quest projects, how deep can you go to get around, say, a permission check? Or if it even needs a permission check at all? Because, well, as far as I'm aware, I don't usually need an app to suddenly say, hey, I would like to have your permission to do something. Except for, like, microphone access, but...
Sure. So, real quick, just on that, on how deep will it go? My question would be, it's no different than what I started the stream with. The question's so valid because right now there is no framework. Is there a framework Facebook could provide, ethic and privacy-wise, that would make you feel more secure with this?
Well, it's one of those more technical things. I think it's sort of like, the fact that it's an Android operating system, I know it keeps things spaced out, but we've seen time and time again where there's ways, or supposedly ways, you can get around that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's more of a case of like, almost like a transparency of like, what data does your Quest keep on hand? What does it already know about you? and just keeps readily accessible at all times. Like if you turned off the internet,
Do you have any
request,
insight, by the way, of what it might right now, or is it purely just speculative questioning?
Well, and that's just it. It's one of those things that the easiest way to figure that out is just turn off the internet on your Quest and be like, okay, what data do you retain? Do you know who I am? Do you have my profile picture still on cache? All that kind of stuff. It's a case of just determining what is in cache, what is in memory, and what do other programs have the possibility of gaining access to.
Sounds like you're similar to Victoria's thoughts, because it sounds like most of the comments are about third parties. Am I wrong in there?
Yes, most definitely.
Okay. Man, I gotta... Victoria, Flame, you and I might have to have a group conversation. But before I close this chat out, I'll open the floor to Dylan first, and then Flame, if you want to close it out with anything. Dylan, is there anything you want to say before we close this chat?
No, I can't think of anything now.
Hey, either way, Dylan, thank you for your patience on getting the stream. I appreciate being here and adding to a good conversation. And regardless, before we bring the next people up, and Flame has anything to say, this was a gamble. Let's just be honest, guys. Like, inviting people up, not knowing where we're going, this was a gamble. If you follow only Twitter or Facebook or just like any single social media site, this topic pretty much just goes down a negative rabbit hole really quick. But surprisingly, this chat's actually been pretty fucking good. So this is why we do streams like this, and I hope to do more soon, because it's actually pretty good conversation rather than 280 character limits of fuck Facebook and all they do. So thank you guys. But Flame, do you want to close it out before we go on to the next group?
Yeah, I'll make it very brief.
That's all right. Take your time.
Then this is going to be the controversial thing, but I do not believe that advertisements inherently are themselves bad. I had debated a few times for, granted it's not a paid service, so that's not exactly the same. I have debated ideas of like, even for like, say, VR chat creators, to be having an access to a library of pre-made content, but they're like, spawn a can here, and then however their advertisement algorithm goes, it's like, okay, it's going to be a Pepsi can, okay, it's going to be a Coke can. Totally not sponsored. It's one of those things of like, I'm not against things that are inherently, in your, I don't want to say like, oh, it's in your face, like, behold the new Pepsi or whatever. It's like, it should be very subtle. If it allows creators to have extra access to things that they can use for building or adding additional content without basically being in your face about it, I think that's okay. It's like everything in moderation. Don't go full on crazy with your advertisements to the point where you inherently annoy people. If it's subtle and it's not in your face about it, then all right, it will make people suddenly go like, I've seen more Coke cans lately, now I'm suddenly craving a Coke. I mean, that's an inherent evil, but I don't feel that it should be like, oh, absolutely nothing at all. I think it's like there's a right time, right place for everything.
Yes. Yep.
Don't go crazy.
Yeah. So everything in moderation is kind of the deal right now. I think it's safe to say, guys. Oh, first of all, both you guys, thank you for being in the chat. The chat just closed? No, it's open. Sorry, Dylan, Flame, thank you guys for your discussion there. And Flame, I will hit you up later because I would like to get into the Neos conversation a little more later. But thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Of course.
I just realized something though.
What's that?
This just made me think about something about this might be a little bit spoiler for Ready Player One movie if anybody hasn't watched it.
If you haven't watched Ready Player One, spoiler warning. I really don't think you're missing. Mute. Just close your ears. Earmuffs. I don't think you're missing anything. It's old enough. If you haven't watched it by now, that's on you, bro.
Yeah. I was just thinking about how IOI was talking about, like, we can cover 80% of their visual field before it induces seizures and sickness and all this, and it's just like, I just hope that wouldn't get to that point.
Yeah.
Where it's like literally just like the entire border of your screen is just ads.
Man, that wasn't a spoiler at all. Man, I thought you were about to ruin the end of the movie. Did
Oh,
you guys
no,
know that the good guy wins most times in movies? Is that a spoiler? But thank you guys. Sorry, that's a tangent. I'm gonna get a couple people on the screen. Thank you, Flame, and
Of course.
thank you, Dylan. I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, before we get the next group in there, again, let's visit the chat. Vexner, dude, you were in here from start to finish, man. I can't appreciate you more. But who have I not spoken with so far? Man, it's really a lot of people in the same chat. Sponsored, Morgan Rid, sponsored items in games like Lay's potato chips or Coca-Cola. That might actually be way better, maybe even an improvement. It'd be interesting too to see if, depending on who the person was for the ads, if it paid more, excuse me, to the developer or not. Alan Nightmare, startup ads and pre-game load ads are probably a given, but I can see Facebook allotting screen space to play adverts in your peripherals. So I think, Alan, you touched on something people talked about. If it's a startup ad and a pre-game load ad, I think we're pretty conditioned. Like, I think the humans that are watching YouTube and watching everything are pretty conditioned to that, which would be okay. But if they are allotting screen space to play adverts in your peripherals, I'm expecting outrage, but the vocal majority outrage does not always speak for the vocal majority of users. So it'll be interesting to see if that happens, if the vocal majority on Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, all them actually represent the actual majority who are using an Oculus Quest. That's really the ultimate question here, is if the people who ultimately the majority are using the Quest equal the mentality of the majority who are outspoken on social media. I don't know. It's honestly an honest question, but we're gonna get Rainbow in here. Rainbow, I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. I'm a little nervous by your Discord status, so I'm hoping that we don't have a problem here. But what's going on, man?
Oh, 1 second. I'm watching the stream. Hi, how's it going?
It's going good, man. How are you?
Good. So,
I don't know your stance, man, but you can be pro, anti. I don't care. What do you think about the subject?
I don't know really. It's kind of in the middle, because I'm upset that ads are going to be in VR games, because that's just, ads. Not a lot of people like them. But at the same time, if they're put in correctly, like, let's say, kind of how they're doing banners in Blast On with that type of, with that example, I feel like that's okay. Kind of things that more are immersive and like, oh yeah, maybe on that billboard there's a Coke ad, or oh, on the side of the stadium there's like a Verizon ad or something. I just don't want like Ready Player One style peripheral ads, because those just sound like they would be terrible.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this a couple times. I think everyone would, well, I say everyone, but it's the internet, so it will never be everyone. But I would say 99.9% of people will probably agree with you on there. What would be, so you're saying, to make sure I understand, so say you're playing, let me pick an arbitrary game here, Apex Legends. It's a fun game. If you guys haven't played it, it's a fun game. Say you're playing Apex Legends and you're running through the level, and there's a billboard that has a ad that's non-targeted or targeted, but it's just an ad on the top of a cityscape like in the game. No problem there. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of problem there. Maybe some problem if it was like specifically targeted to the player, because I just am not comfortable with targeted ads. They seem very creepy. But I feel like if it's an ad in a game that's like, if it feels like it merges with the game world, I feel like that is perfectly okay, but I'm still mad about it. It's not like I'm going to stop playing the game or like be fully outraged by it. I'm going to be miffed, but
Yes.
like, I get it.
And let me ask a question in the chat real quick, but specifically just one time. Thomas Bennett, I read your tweet. When it says Ryan, I'm assuming Ryan has lost a lot of money in general with VR, but think they got a lot of money back now. Are we talking about Ryan Engel at Propa VR, and what's the context of that question? Because I would be that comment, I'd be very much interested in hearing more about that comment, because I don't know what you mean by losing a lot of money, but that's interesting. I do want to bring with you right now, Rainbow. I'd like to bring one more person in with us here.
Okay, cool.
We're going to bring B-Sites VR. Let me get you in here.
Okay, I'm gonna mute real quick because I have a bowl of chips here and they are very loud.
You're good. Be psyched. I'm having problems getting you in here, man. Hold on. We're gonna get you in. Don't worry. Oh no. There you are. Let's get you in here. Be Strike, this is your chance, man. Alright, guys, real quick in the chat before Be Strike you speak. Let me see if we got an answer to that Ryan question, because I would be really interested. And Alan Nightmare, I will bring up the subject of minors again. Kids are dumb. We are all dumb. Kids before, and giving them access to advertisements is not a good idea. Well, Alan, if you would like to actually stand by that and have a little more of a discussion, I would love for you to send me a friend request on Discord so I can get you in here soon, because that's something that I do want to hear about. Because if we look at the demographic of Quest, there are a lot of children on there, and I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts on that. But be psyched. You have an interesting take on how developers could make new revenue streams. Let me hear about that.
Yeah, so I kind of am of the opinion that we're just going to accept this happening. It's going to happen, but I think what could be interesting about it versus like regular ad monetization is you could have the third-party data go to companies that would not typically have any kind of interactive ad system, but funnel that into VR games, specifically social VR games. So kind of an example I thought of is, and I know people are going to hate this, but just follow me here when I say this. So you have this kid or adult, whatever makes you feel better about it. You have this kid, she's in a social VR space, like a fair world or something, and it shows that she keeps using the same ride over and over and over again, like a roller coaster.
Sure.
It also shows that she keeps looking at like this digital pet, like My Little Pony pet or something like that. Something stupid, right? But what they could do is they could take that information, and if you opt into, like, say you opted into like, oh, I accept interactive ads from this game, you could have it where you could send that data to, say, the Cartoon Network or something, and you could have them build like a virtual roller coaster that's My Little Pony themed.
Mm-hmm.
And it wouldn't be something where it would be like right in front of your face. It would be like in a specific interactive ad spot, like a digital physical spot that you could walk to. And it'd be like, oh, you have this tailor-made content for like $1, and it could just be replicated over and over and over again. So if you you want to bring your friends into it or whatever, it just, because it's gonna, it's not gonna be all in your face. It's not gonna be just billboards. But I think if people leaned into the idea of interactivity, that it could really create a whole bunch of revenue streams for companies that would have never had an opportunity of how many times do you think of Coca-Cola, or like any soft drink? But if they had something that was interactive that you really liked, you'd be like, oh, I really like their ads, and I'm more, apt to interact with them. And I might think of Coca-Cola because I think of like a roller coaster ride instead of, Coca-Cola, the billboard ad that I see in like Population 1 or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's the power. I see where you're coming from, because that is the literal power of VR. So you see a Coca-Cola ad on TV. What are you doing when you see that ad? 3, 4 other things. You're semi listening to the TV. You're on your phone. You're talking to someone in the house, dog, cat. I don't know. You're doing multiple things. But that's the power of VR ads, and that's what I think is. We haven't really gotten into that. No one's brought that up today. The power that VR ads have, because you are locked into the headset. Your stimuli is only what's on the screen. There is no, at least right now, maybe there's things coming later that, phone notifications, things like that are more ubiquitous and more seamless. You don't need extra apps for them. But right now, if you have the headset on, what you see is what you see. That's everything in your peripherals. That's everything in your vision. There's no way around that. So I see where you're coming from on that. I'm going to throw a third person into this group chat real quick, who's been waiting, and we'll have a few more people before we end this. But Hair Grow, I think I know you from a few different places. Please tell me about yourself when you're in this chat, because I think if this is the screen, hey, Hair Grow, if this is the profile picture, I think it is. You are a VR developer. Is this Slaughterhouse?
I'm not Slaughterhouse, but yes, I am a developer.
Yes, I swear I've seen your picture before. Tell us about yourself first. That way people know who you are.
Gotcha. So yeah, name's Anthony. Hair grow. So yeah, I'm a motion designer, senior motion designer, artist by trade. Been working with Unity for quite a while. Avid VR player. Um, I just kind of keep it short, sweet, and simple there.
Sure. What's your thoughts on the topic right now?
Oh man, this is sort of well. First off, let me say, yeah, I love your platform, dude. I definitely enjoy watching your videos. I think they're awesome. As a VR developer, I like looking at your stuff for like research, just to kind of gauge, different thoughts and opinions on things like that. Really appreciate having Victoria up earlier. There's a lot of things I learned that I didn't even know about. So, kudos to you, dude. Um, yeah, it's sort of odd because I guess we're watching this on delay because I'm looking at you
Yes.
right now. And
They-
it's a little odd. Yeah, 'cause I was like, well, wait a minute, he's just called me and I'm sitting here watching him right now. So this is weird. But anyway,
Yes. Thank you, though, man. I appreciate it.
yeah, so my thoughts on it is so first off, like I'm not surprised, like when the announcement was first made, like obviously there's going to be people that are going to be up in arms about it. I totally get it, but I wasn't surprised. It's one of those scenarios where I mean ads kind of is really part of our economy. Any major
Can I stop you real quick? Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I think that's an understatement. Like, they're more than part of our economy. They're so ubiquitous that you don't even know what the ad is that you've seen, but you have seen the ad. Let's not understate that.
Right. And when I say, ads are part of like our economy, like I'm just kind of going beyond just, just VR as far as what we're talking about right now. Like I'm just talking about just in general when we're talking about like TV networks, for instance, radio, there's ads all over the place. Companies pay big money to those networks and to those stations. That's how they make their money.
Yes.
So when Facebook made that announcement, I wasn't surprised like at all. Like I knew it was coming basically just because I mean it's Facebook. That's how they make their money,
If we all denied that this was not coming, like you can be mad about how it's enacted, but we knew this was coming. This was
exactly. Like I think back to YouTube when it was first created. Like I'm sitting here watching it and I knew instantly, like, watch, one day there's going to be ads on this thing.
Yes.
One day, so sure enough, Google bought it, ads started showing up, and which is understandable, because there's viewership there. Big companies want to pay to have their stuff shown in front of thousands of people. Now, there are some aspects to it where it's like, okay, I'm sort of like Switzerland, I guess you could say, if that would be the right term.
Neutral.
Some kind of neutral, yeah. Some very, very neutral. So it's like I'm on both sides. So it's like I get it. I totally understand it. The only part that is creepy is the algorithms that are written to where it's very targeted. So it's like if I'm googling something very specific, or if I'm talking about something very specific that my phone is just listening too hard, and then all of a sudden I start seeing ads popping up for about the thing that I was just talking about or something I was just googling. That's the creepy part. But I totally get it. It's one of those things where I mean right now everything's very speculative, so I'm assuming that when they say that ads are going to be in VR games, that there's going to be some sort of revenue stream for the developers. I'm only assuming,
But that goes back to my question real quick, since you brought that point. Is the revenue stream for the ad revenue more lucrative than if Facebook or /Oculus had just reduced the 30% cut?
See, I don't know on that one, because I feel, I can't necessarily answer that just because I don't actually have a game out yet to really make that call. Like I'm still very much in the beginning stages of development. It does suck. That there's a 30% cut. And that's either from Apple, Steam, or Facebook. I mean that's a huge cut. So I can't necessarily say that, if they reduce that, if you would see more money like
Sure.
up front. But I do kind of feel like with ads, it does seem like that there's a sense of like passive income, 'cause I know it was mentioned as far as like, oh, well, there should be like more like paid content like DLCs and things like that.
Can I
As
give a
far as
quick
like,
insight to Facebook and the Oculus Quest store? So guys, I'm not a pro. I'm not a developer. Never claimed to be. I'm an armchair expert, if anything. I just armchair, like that's what I do. But I do know some developers who have given me a little more insight into how Oculus works. Nothing crazy, but a little bit of insight. And the monetization options for people in the store, it's cutthroat. Like the Steam store, if you're not in the top, I don't know, this is an arbitrary number. If you're not in the top 10% of games, you are likely not going to get featured in the Steam store. If you are not in the top 5% of games, you will probably not be featured on the Oculus Quest store. From someone I trust, if you're in the chat, I'm not going to name you because I don't want to call you out, but I do trust you. And I've been provided info that I do believe that if you, within the first X amount of time when your game launches, if you are below a 4.0 score, you were taken off the main page. Think how crazy that is. Developers who are launching games right now are figuring out things. No one knows the blueprint. There is no blueprint. People are really just trying to understand, like, why did Beat Saber succeed? Does anyone know? No. If you say you know why Beat Saber succeeded, you don't know shit. Like, it
Right.
worked, but I doubt anyone could have called it that was going to work. And other games that are as big as that, who knows why that was going to work? Some people get lucky. They figured out the juice. They got lucky, but no one knows what works. And if you're figuring it out and go below that 4.0 on launch day, which by the way, your launch date is when Oculus tells you the launch date is. So even if you're not ready, you're launching. You don't have a choice. That's hard. So you can't blame developers. I'm trying to give developers here the benefit of the doubt. You can't blame them if they want to go the ad route with a little extra revenue, because when they start the application process, they are forced to launch on the day that Facebook tells them to launch once they start that process, regardless if it's fully ready or not. And who knows if it's ready or not, because they're figuring it out just like everyone else. So yes, this is a little bit of a tangent. But when you hear a developer put ads in their game like Blastin, who got blasted on Reddit for doing exact same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what Blastin's rated on Oculus Quest store, guys. I have no idea. I also know it hasn't recently launched, so I don't know what the visibility is. They may not be visible in the store at all. I don't know. They're trying to supplement their income. It's a tough game. So guys, you got to think about that from the other side too. They have invested the money. I have not. I'm an armchair quarterback right now. I have no stake. I could leave YouTube right now, my life would not change, right? I have no monetary stake in this game. Everything in this room that I have, I paid for my money, and it's mine. The stakes for a developer are insanely high. We need to keep that in context. So you can't blame them if they want to put ads in the game. And I'm kind of defending Blasted here because they got blasted.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was warranted.
Right. And I totally agree with that, just because, from Blast On as the example, this was just showing that one little image. I do think that is the correct way to do it. I think at least those that are, kind of watching right now will pretty much all be in agreement that, we don't want it in our face. We'd want it as a billboard scenario. And the funny part is like, as soon as I heard this announcement, my thoughts actually went beyond just VR, because we know, Facebook is developing, their own AR glasses as well. And, so as soon as I read that, the first thing that I thought about was this article that I read, like back in 2018 from VentureBeat, and it was talking about the enabled landscape. So just basically, wearing AR glasses and just having all this information, kind of pop up, across, any cityscape basically. And, and as a designer, as a motion designer, I'm very experienced dealing with billboards, and so that was the next, that's where my thought kind of went to. It was like, okay, wow, that's going to be crazy, because that actually will change the billboard game as well. So, when you put on your AR glasses and you're driving down the highway, you may very well see targeted ads on billboards, so that was sort of a prediction that I was just kind of making for myself. Like it's gonna happen one day,
Yep.
So there's that aspect of it. I do like the fact that with the way Blackstone is doing it, it works very well in that scenario because it's more of a sports style game. So if you go to any stadium, that's what you're going to see. You're going to see ads all across the stadium, all across the LED boards, things like that. So it works very well in that type of scenario. So if you've got a sports game, having ads kind of all around you would work. Now, if you're playing, like what is interesting though, and we'll have to kind of wait to see how this all plays out, is that we probably are not going to see ads done in the same way that we would see like on mobile games. So like let's say like for free to play games, right? I don't know for sure because I've never released a mobile game, but I assume that when they have the free to play games and they have the ads that you have to watch before you play said game, that there's probably some money kind of being had from having that ad show up in front of your game. I'm not positive on that, but I doubt we're going to see that in VR games just because that'll totally break up the gameplay. Like if you're in the middle of a game and then all of a sudden it pops up, hey, do you want to watch this ad? Like, no. Like
Yes.
I'm in the middle of this, you know what I mean? Like I'm in the middle of this game. Like I'm not gonna watch this. It's just gonna totally break it up. Now someone did bring up an interesting point that might be kind of neat. And obviously, like I said, we'd have to see how it all plays out. But if the ad was actually built into the game and not even necessarily like it's a flat, ad, that it's actually some type of, object, I think one of the examples that was brought out was like Coca-Cola. Like I've spent some time working with Coca-Cola as a designer, and that's something I can see them all on top of. Like if so say like if you're playing Half-Life or something, like Coca-Cola could have paid just an enormous amount of money just to have their logo on those bottles. That's in-game ad placement right there. And people would have went bananas. I mean, people were going bananas just over the liquid physics inside the bottles. So if that logo, the Coca-Cola logo, was on there, like, I mean, that's just that's product placement right there. And it would be very non-intrusive. Because it's just part of the gameplay. Like I do feel like that sort of advertisement may very well show up as well, but I feel like something like that might take some time because Facebook has to build the model. Because what would end up happening, and this is just all speculations, all predictions. Like,
And by the way, here, I'm going to give you the word here. I'm going to open the floor up after that to Be Psyched and everyone in here, and we'll do a new group, one last group.
Gotcha. So my thought is that what's going to end up happening is they, so when they're saying that they're, testing out, the ad space, I feel like what they're doing is they're kind of building the framework, right? I've seen another platform that's essentially trying to do the same thing. And it was something, in my research as a developer, that's something I've always kind of kept in mind. So when I say the framework, they're going to create specifications on how big the ad can be, how long it can be, and where it should be placed, such that you now have a template. So where like if the graphic has to be 500 by 500 pixels, the video has to be no more than 30 seconds in length. Those type of specifications, that's the framework that they're trying to build out. So that way they can reach out to advertisers and say, hey, if you want your ad to appear in a multitude of VR games and possibly even have the choice of what VR games that they show up in, these are the specs that you have to follow. And I'm just speaking from a designer's point of view, as someone who's had to do ads for different size billboards. Like this is just part of it. You know what I mean? It's just part of my job. You know what I mean? So
I do want to ask before I get the final group on here, Be Psyched, VR, Rainbow, anything you want to contribute or anything you have to say before we end this group? And thank you for all three of you for participating in this.
I do, but it looked like Be Psyched unmuted before me, so he can go if he needs to.
Hey, man, you guys are so respectful. Look at that shit.
By the way, apologizing for the vacuum in the background. When I think it was B-Psyched who brought it up, but when I heard, well, I didn't really think of minors in the factor of this the entire time, which kind of brings something else into play, because targeted minors.
Can you define minor, by the way? I think that's important to define what age
Small.
age are you
By
counting?
minor, what I'm thinking is like, oh, okay, I'm not thinking like.
Sorry,
17 under.
real
My
quick.
brain-
The reason I asked is because obviously the I believe someone can quote me if I'm wrong. The age requirements is 13 and up, right? So
Yeah.
are we counting minor as below that recommendation, or are
I'm
you still
saying
counting
below
minors?
that?
Okay, understood. Just want to make sure to clarify that for your discussion.
So like kind of kids 12 and under.
Mhm.
That is that's just kind of gross. That's way more gross. If they, because I don't think they're going to be taking account for children.
But they
'cause
shouldn't be
never
using
really
it,
do.
right? If they're
Yeah, they
12 or
shouldn't.
under,
They
should
shouldn't
on
be,
there.
but they do.
Yeah,
I think
and then
like
people
one
also still target to the children, which is messed up. And just bring that into VR, where you know they're in the world and then they're getting advertised in their face. Like, I
Well,
know.
it could be something where you know.
Yeah,
they
B-Psych, by the way, I'm going to give you the last word here because we do want. I want to go into the last. No, you're
Okay,
good.
yeah.
You're good. I want to give the last. I want to do one more group, so I do want to give B-Psych the floor. But then I appreciate you guys. I will exit this group chat after that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So in my example, I was just thinking out of off the top of my head, but I think the best thing to say in regards to that is like they don't know. Typically, they don't know who they're like the age that they're targeting. They just know the content. So, it just depends. Like if you have a cell phone, you're gonna get targeted anyway, no matter if you're 9 years old or 18 years old. So, but I think that I'm glad that you guys can agree with the idea of the interactive ads, because I think people are just thinking about it and like, oh no, it's going to be ads. But I really do think that that's a way that makes it not just like palatable, but makes it actually, it could be quote unquote fun. It could be a way to actually put a VR spin on something that's otherwise unpalatable to people. Even I can picture people getting mad just because there are billboards up on Pop One or whatever. But yeah, I don't like the targeted ads, but it's gonna happen. It's just gonna eventually happen. If it doesn't happen the first year, it's gonna happen 5 years down the road. So
Yeah, I'll end this chat with. I agree with you. I think or this group right here. Target ads are going to happen. But what I hope a lot of people in chat hope as well, because I think it's good for everyone, is that if target ads are going to happen, if we all think they're going to happen, that there is at least a privacy and ethic framework that Facebook publishes and pushes out that alleviates a lot of these. I think that's the thing. Like, I'm okay with ads, and I'm okay with targeted ads. Okay. Redo. I'm okay with ads if they're just general non-targeted. I don't care if they're done tastefully. But targeted ads, I'm also okay with as long as there is that framework. If there's not that framework, that's the problem. But to B-Psyched VR, Rainbow Hair Grow, everybody, thank you for this group. Appreciate the good discussion there, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, it was amazing talking.
Hey, yeah, same here.
Thank you, guys. I'm going to do one last group here. Black Pixel, man. I'm setting the call. Hope you're ready. Hope you're ready. And before you do it, Robert, well, hold on. Robert, look at my eyes, Faye. One of them is fake because I lost in an accident. Since then, I've been seeing the past in one eye and the present in the other. If you cannot name that quote, guys, if you do not know what anime Robert Curnow has just said, you're dead to me. Because the ultimate weeb knows that. It is the anime that inspired anime to the West. Guys, if you're into anime in the Western market, US, Canada, South America, whatever, there is one anime that rules among all, and Robert Curnow just quoted that. So thank you, buddy. I'm not going to say the name. I'm not going to say the anime, but anyone in the chat can say it. But
I'm a Akira fan.
You're a what?
Akira, you don't remember?
Yeah, Death Note. I'm down with that. You're good in my book, man. You and I are already friends, Black Pixel. But what's your thoughts? You're going to be one of the last of this this group, Black Pixel. What's your thoughts on the topic?
All right. And so in regards to the ads, man, I think the ads gotta bad rep when it comes to the internet. We've been living with ads our entire life. It's just that they weren't able to target specifically what our interests are.
So
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go a little deeper into that.
Okay, so before the internet, we had only television. Everybody was glued to the television. We couldn't control exactly, what it is that we're gonna watch, what cartoon we're gonna watch, other than just flipping channels. But whatever the network put on, that's what we were gonna watch at a particular time. All right. At that moment, whatever ads popped in were ads that were just popping in. You got a Coca-Cola ad or whatever, blah blah blah. Right?
Hey, hey guys, there's Pepsi too. We left them out. It's all Coca-Cola tonight.
So and then here we go with the internet age. And now this is different because the internet, we control where we go, more than we did with television. So the coders figured out that they could track our positioning using cookie data. So the cookie data is what they're tracking. They're not tracking us specifically. They don't know my name, my social security number, anything that's identifying me, other than the fact that I just went to look at a pair of shoes, some Nikes over here, a toothbrush over here, and that sort of thing. And when they target the ads based on the cookie data, it's only going to show me that. I don't want to see maxi pads and that sort of thing because I'm a guy. So you know what I mean? So I'm only gonna see what I was interested in anyway, based on my cookie history. You could always go in there and reset your cookie data if you know how to. Just Google it. Google how to reset your cookies. If you are like, okay, I'm getting too much political, I'm getting too much of this or that, just go reset all your cookies. Or you should be doing that anyway once you log out. But that's basically what they use to advertise. Like if I was an advertiser, and which I do, so I'm creating content, and I got particular content that I'm creating for a group of people. My first job is to know who I'm creating content for. What's my audience? All right, and now I need to spend my money to target those people specifically. I go over here to Facebook and I sign up. I put in the algorithm of the people that I want. Hey, look, I like this group, this group, this group, this group. I only want black people in the South that wear their pants down that past they. I'm joking, but
no, I know you're joking. I want. Can I cut you off real quick? Just real quick. There's something in the chat that if I don't talk about it, I'll miss. So Kyle Shro can ghost. If I mispronounced, I'm sorry, man. He says, and yet you'll casually mention getting a cat to your buddy in the car, and 2 hours later have 60 ads for the cat stuff. Real quick, guys, there's a big myth that your phone or whatever is listening to. They're not. It's been debunked a million times. They're not listening to you. What they're doing is actually more intelligent. Like if you think your phone's listening to you right now, that's the lowbrow version of it. The highbrow version of it is that what it's doing is it knows where you are. It knows where you go. It knows the people you speak with. So what it's doing is if you have I think there was a good Twitter thread with someone who's into this, who was going to their grandma's house, and she had a specific brand of toothpaste. And then ever since he visited his grandma, he got ads for that specific brand of toothpaste. They're not listening to you. What it did is it geocached you. It knew where you were. It knew who you were hanging out. It knew your grandma, and it knew what toothpaste that she used. And because you were visiting her, it took your information and was like, hey, you're over there. She likes that toothpaste. Let's give you a toothpaste ad because that might spark a conversation between you two, and now you might buy that toothpaste ad. So if people think the sinister thing is they're listening to you, they're not. Fuck you, Zuckerberg. He's not listening to me. It's actually way more sinister. Well, not sinister, that's the word. It's way more elaborate than that. They're actually taking way more information, knowing who you're talking to, where you are, what they're using, what you're using, and they're trying to spark conversations. They're not listening to you. This myth has been debunked a million billion times. So I'm sorry to cut you off, Pixel.
Oh no. And just to add to that, it's not they aren't looking for you or tracking you. The cookie, the algorithms, the coders are literally just writing code that's going to track down cookie data and connect the dots with other cookie data. That's simply what it is.
Yep.
And they're selling that. They're selling those cookies. You know, cookie like what is it? The what was that? The Little Red Riding Hood.
I'm gonna pull another person in here with us real quick as someone who's been waiting for quite a while.
I'll go for it.
Alan, we're gonna get you in here, man. Alan Nightmare. Let's get you. Oh. No, I'm not trying. I just invited the wrong person, and that was a person I did not want to get in here. Alan, let's get you in the chat, my man. There we go. How you doing, Alan?
I am doing well, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for being patient there. What's your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Oh boy, lots of stuff has been covered already.
It has, that right?
Give a good shout out to Victoria for bringing out some clarity on how Facebook actually does their data.
Victoria, much love to her too.
Yeah, it's very eye-opening for a lot of people in the chat. I saw very good information. Also to Zebra in the chat, also making a lot of good points. I believe we brought on me for the topic of the minors, which you touched on in the last group for a little bit.
So I'm sorry, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, no lies. There's a lot of friend requests going on right now, so I think I might have missed some of the chat. Elaborate on that, because I might have missed where that started in the chat.
So we were talking about the safety of advertisements to a minor demographic, which does exist on VR, as I'm sure you know. Quest is widely used by what we would consider children under 18, and the audience that I've personally seen has been under 13, because, you know, we were kids, we played Grand Theft Auto when we weren't supposed to. You know, kids are going to play VR under the recommended age. It's going to happen. And, you know, I was a dumb kid once, as I'm sure you were.
I'm still dumb, my man.
I feel you. I buy stuff when I'm not supposed to, especially when I had my parents' credit card information. I was dumb enough to buy stuff. And I know there's some kids in VR and even on just PC in general. Again, Zebra brought up a good point. Kids on Roblox, like kids on Roblox make dumb decisions. Like, you've heard of the fiascos, lots of gambling, lots of predatory nature, lots of taking advantage of kids' stupidity and just lack of knowledge in advertisements in general. And that can be done to a lot, like to a way worse degree in VR, because most people in VR are usually in a room alone. You know, they don't have any outside sources to say, hey, maybe you shouldn't like click on that, or hey, maybe you shouldn't buy that. You know, you can go down the rabbit hole pretty easy. And I won't touch too much on the topics of like how they're like presented, because we've had plenty of good points of how they should be displayed, you know, peripheral or in game, or whether they're, you know, interruptive of gameplay and whatnot, because they've made plenty of good points on that. But like, the fact is that Victoria also made a good point that they don't really screen their third-party users, or the people that they get these advertisements from and give the rights to this data to. And when it comes to minors, that's like especially true, because minors aren't smart enough to say, hey, this ad might be malicious, but it looks like something I want, you know.
That's fair. That's fair. Let's be honest, guys. The minor conversation is it's a tough subject, because first of all, you have to define what a minor is, because to many people, a minor is going to be below 18, right? But a minor in VR would be 13 to 18, which is a subject in its own, because to me, 18 or below is always a minor. I don't care if you're 12 or 13, you're a minor. So it's a subject matter that by definition will be very convoluted to start with. And there's no right answer, but I do agree with you guys that the Quest base is going to have more minors than a PC VR base because of a cost factor and parents buying it for their kids. But at the end of the day, you know, we can't be the police of what a kid is seeing. That is ultimately up to the parents. At least that's a thought I have. I don't know if you guys agree.
I thought the VR demographics were an older group. I didn't. My son, I bought him one. He's not interested. He's on Roblox.
I don't know if there's any quantifiable, like I'm speaking out my ass right now, so I don't have any quantifiable data for what the average age of a VR user would be. Speculatively, I would argue that I think I would be fairly safe to say that the average age user of a Quest will likely be lower than the average age of a PCVR index user. I think that's fairly safe to say due to cost perspective. Parents are, a kid. I don't know, whatever you classify a minor as. I have a 6-month-old, so I don't know what the hell kids start getting smart and asking for good presents. But whatever the age is, parents are going to buy the Oculus Quest for their kid when they start bugging them for VR. So the average age of a VR user for the Quest is going to be much lower than the average age of a user for an index. That just makes sense. What that age is, I don't know. I have no quantifiable data. Just speculating here, but I hear you guys on the minor question. I consider anyone below 18 a minor. I am 31 years old for anyone in the chat. I'm an old fucking man on YouTube. And I'm still learning daily.
I'm older than you.
and all three of us in here are continuously learning quite a bit. And if we're learning as adults and trying to, and I use adult as anyone above 18, if we're continuously learning and trying to navigate this insanely crazy field that keeps adjusting, what does an under 18 person understand? That's the question. So, I think that's kind of where you're going. Maybe I'm speculating, Alan, but that's kind of what I feel like.
I have again shouting out to the chat, Chris9989 specifically. He brought out just going to Rec Room alone. You're going to find almost nothing but what we would consider children, people under the age of 18, and even VR chat, where I pretty much exclusively spend time. I've got like 4,000 hours, index, PC VR, full body, the works. It's where I like to be. And occasionally I like to go to a public world. And as I'm sure you know, I've seen you on VR chat every now and then. I've seen you hanging around. There are kids on there, especially in the public worlds, because they see it on the meme videos, they see it on YouTube. It's a fun place to hang out, look at cool memes, practice voice acting, and in some cases it can be a nice, fun environment for them. But in a lot of cases, it's very toxic, because if you were ever a kid in the video game environment, usually you got picked on by adults just for being a kid. And not only are you having to deal with that from the left, just being a kid in VR space in general, getting that kind of abuse, but then also to have ads targeted towards your age group where you have no control over that, beating you from the right. It's just it's building a very not safe environment for children in VR.
I can't see what I'm trying to make the connection between the ads being dangerous to kids. Like, what ads are you talking about? Selling dildos or something? Like, I'm trying to understand.
Real quick, we'll get in this conversation. I do want to get in that conversation real quick, and we'll end it there. But Flame Souls, how old are you? Because how dare you call me old? But anyway, how dare you, Flame? I want to have you in a fireside chat, and you're going to insult me. But anyway, no, I don't think it's the fact that anyone thinks that there's going to be nefarious, specifically targeted, inappropriate ads for kids. Like, personally, I don't think I don't concern that at all. I have no fear that if a 12-year-old had a VR headset, which they shouldn't have, by the way, per guidelines, but I don't think they're getting any inappropriate ads. I think it's the difference between making the educated, I gotta word this right. If there was nefarious use of ads where they were really trying to target people and really trying to get them to move something, a 12-year-old just will not have the knowledge base to mitigate that situation compared to a 31-year-old like myself who understands what's happening. That's the nefarious use. It's not that they're going to get specifically targeted ads that are inappropriate for them. It's the fact that they do not have the knowledge to navigate that this is an ad, that this is not something that they need. I think that's the concern of most people.
But also too, that responsibility falls on the parents, because the 12-year-old don't have no money anyway. Like, so if they are getting streamlined with ads, they still have to go. It has to be funneled through an adult. So that it's up to that adult, I feel.
I'm gonna give you the last word here, Alan, before we move forward here.
Yeah. I'll end it on a hypothetical, just based off what Pixel said. And again, this is from my personal experience, just being a younger kid in gaming, like in the early 2000s. I had my parents' credit card information.
Oh my god!
Lucky.
I played RuneScape, all right, and I paid for a membership with their credit card, so I had their information. I could buy stuff, and for instance, I could get fake gold and I could get fake stuff. And if I saw advertisements for RuneScape that were, let's say, predatory on saying, hey, buy this for RuneScape to get better, I'm a dumb kid. I clicked on that, and cost my parents a bunch of money. On the Oculus specifically, you do have to have payment information to buy stuff on the Oculus store.
Right.
Like, you have to set up a card. You have to set it up electronically. You can't pay for it in cash, obviously. And there are some securities here and there. But say, for instance, you might be a little bit more of a spoiled kid, and your parents they kind of trust you, and they say, hey, here's this stuff. Buy what games you want this week or this month or this year. Here, and they just leave their card there. Say, for instance, they now get hit with an advertisement. Say, oh, get 17,000 Robux. I'm just going to use Roblox as an example. By clicking on this ad. That is obviously an ad targeted towards a child or a lower age demographic. They follow that ad, boom, viruses, credit card stealing information. That's a third party, again, like Victoria had said, that had access to Facebook's demographic that then uses those permissions that child then gave them to sell their CCSVs, their data, the credit card information, all sorts of stuff like that. And again, a kid is not going to have the wherewithal to know that's a bad choice. Because I didn't know that was a bad choice in the early 2000s. I was dumb. And I know some dumb kids.
So what I'm hearing is, everyone in the chat, if you could send me your credit card, your 3-digit security code in the back, and your expiration date.
He deserves it, honestly.
I'd appreciate it. Thank you, guys. I'm going to close this, Black Pixel, Alan Nightmare. Thank you. I'm going to close this chat.
Thank you for your
joining.
Yeah, have a wonderful night.
Thank you, guys. You too. So, guys, we have been going for almost 2 hours here. Here's what I got to say, because we are going to end it. Sorry, love y'all, but we do have to end this eventually. I'm hungry. This idea of an open platform for a debate rather than what we were doing before, I was a little nervous of, because I'm inviting people that I do not know. They can say whatever they want. It could go poorly. Additionally, if you are on social media, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, you know that when ads are brought up, it is not constructive. If I screen shared you right now on my Twitter, it's not very constructive. You have great people in the industry that I follow on Twitter, but it gets very destructive on there. You cannot have good debate. So this idea of opening up the floor for debates, for discussion, for just talking, it's a risk. And I knew that going into it. And I can say that gamers, you exceeded expectations. This was fantastic. I hope to do it again soon. There are not many places on the internet where we have open dialogue like this. Yes, we have Clubhouse and stuff like that, but unless you have something to plug or something to preach, it's kind of a bullshit platform. I have no problem saying that. And this was a lot of fun. If you missed anything here, I do plan to clip it out on the second channel. I will put it again for the billionth time in the chat. But please, guys, I will be putting clips for all streams, all chats, all debates in there. I'm trying to find the right people for the next debate on ads that will actually come in here without bullshitting me, without coming with an agenda to be safe, who are ready to actually be who they are and share their opinions. Because that's the problem with these debates. Sometimes people want to put on a show for YouTube. You know, you have a YouTube channel, people want to put on a show. They're like, that's what I think people want to see, so I'll be that person. You know what people want to see? They want to see fucking real people. They don't want to see a show. They want to see opinions, because that's the gold of YouTube. It's anybody. Joe Mama could make a YouTube channel and share their opinions. That's what this is for. I could not be more proud of y'all tonight. You guys, I'm super proud of y'all. No, seriously, super proud of y'all. This fucking worked. I hope to do more of these. If you have topics, shoot me DMs, whatever. We can have more topics of this. But yeah, this was a blast. That's all I got to say about it. It's time for me to hang with my wife and kid and eat some food because I'm a little drunk. Much love, guys. This was a blast. As always, I'm going to end this very abruptly. See you next time, Space Cowboys. Peace.